Like maybe I just felt like it. Like maybe I just felt like leaving the house. Or maybe I just felt like dyeing my hair, you know? Like what is it, hello? Hi guys, welcome back to another video of mine. Look at this camera quality. Can we just take a second? This is literally such high quality. So I got a new phone and the camera is busted. Let's go. Hello? Welcome back to another video of mine. Not me being nervous about making this video today. If you guys can tell from the title of this video, I will be talking about how to spot the red flags. Now, I feel like, okay, so I'm not gonna like sit here and act like I'm innocent and things like that. I have definitely cut off a lot of people recently, and I feel like me making this video is kind of like a oof moment, but at the same time, I feel like my viewers and those of you who have been supporting me and watching me have been through quite a bit as well. And I figured it would not hurt to make a video to kind of like express the things that I spot and I notice in people that are kind of like, girl. I wrote down some things on my iPad because you know me, I ramble a lot, so I figured it wouldn't hurt to kind of make a guideline of things I want to talk about so I don't get everywhere in this video. I am obviously still at my parents' house. I'm working religiously, so I have been exhausted, and today I feel like I've actually been able to sit down and make a video, so I'm very excited to do this. At Starbucks, I ran some errands today, got myself situated. I gotta clean my room, so disregard some of the knickknacks that are chilling in my room. I've been alright. I just feel like there's not enough time to do the things that I need to do. So like last night I was trying to make music, and it was just like hard for me to like make music and watch the shows that I want to watch and like have the time to do what I want to do and work out and be like this amazing awesome person, I guess. I don't know. It's just been crazy as usual. Yeah, that's about as much as an update I got. My birthday's in a few weeks, so I'm turning 24, and I have absolutely no idea what I'm gonna do for my birthday, but I am not really looking forward to my birthday just because I've had really awful experiences with my birthdays, but I mean, maybe this year might be different. Who knows? Let's get started on how to avoid the red flags. This video is a very generalized video. I'm gonna be making it about friendships, relationships, anything of that nature, just how to spot red flags in people. I feel like if you're able to spot the things that are not okay in people, then it will save you time and energy and pain or hurt. Yeah, let's get started because I have quite a few little like tips and tricks or things that I've learned as of lately or throughout my course of being alive in my life about people and the things that they do and the red flags that I've been able to spot and notice. First thing is, people will indirectly show themselves to you. A person is going to be themselves and show you the type of person that they are without you, or how can I explain this in a better term? I'm an observer, so I like to look at how people talk, how people react, how people respond. You know, what do they do when things get difficult? What do they do when things aren't difficult? Like what they like to do for their free time, the way that they treat their family, their friends, you know, everything in that nature. Even in the past, you know, like I like to look at how people respond and react to things. And so for example, whether it be a friend or a potential romantic interest, let's say something happens and that they don't agree with whatever happened to them. I really pay attention to the way that they respond to a situation because it does say a lot about their character. So I feel like people need to realize, you know, it is always great to follow your heart. It's always great to you know, be in tune with your feelings, but it comes to a point where you have to be logical and you need to realize things for what they are. And I'm gonna like touch on this specifically later in the video because I want to like talk to you guys about that in specific. But when it comes to this certain bulletin point, I just want you guys to like be more aware of how people react and act in the natural world. Because if someone is easily aggravated, if someone's easily angered, if someone is reckless and they just feel like every time something bad happens to them, the first thing they do is pick up a bottle, or the first thing that they do is yell at someone or hit something, you know, that says a lot about them and the way that they end up treating you. So keep that in mind for friendships, relationships, anything in that sort. The way that they act is ultimately going to be the way that they will treat you. Next thing is they start talking about their ex. So this is more for a relationship sense. I am not going to sit here and bash anyone. Especially me, you know, because I've definitely like shared experiences with my exes towards people, and I've, you know, talked about my struggles and what I've went through with my exes. But it becomes a problem when they're constantly talking about their ex and they're constantly bringing it up, because that's when you know that there's something not right there. If they say that this and this happened and this resulted in this, you know, just be aware of the things that they're saying and be like, like, okay, let me just, like, I wonder what occurred for this to happen, or what occurred for said person to say this thing about them. But I also feel like it's a tricky subject. People do paint false narratives all the time. So, you know, their ex could have said that they were toxic and manipulative and said all of these things, and they're actually not. You have to keep that in mind. You always want to give people the benefit of the doubt. It's really tricky because, you know, I love giving people the benefit of the doubt, but, you know, I think you should always just be aware and just have your guard up and just like be more logical and be like, okay, like, you know, and observe and see like a person's reactions and behaviors and things like that. If they consistently talk about their ex, that's not bueno. That's not good. Just like, don't get involved. Just don't. Not over their ex if they keep talking about them. So next is they don't ask about you. So I'm really big on this. So I don't know if people mean to do it or some people mean to do it. It's really difficult to express yourself in general, and I think that when you're asking about someone and you're asking about the things that they like and they want to do, and you aren't, you know, getting asked. And the thing is you don't want to make them feel guilty for asking about you, you know? You just want to like, because I've actually had this happen to me recently, and it made me think like, damn, like that kind of sucks. You know, I was asking about, you know, their life and their family, and I was asking all of these really interpersonal questions, and they didn't ask me a single thing about they didn't care about my culture, they didn't care about, my family, they didn't care about like anything, they didn't really ask me anything, and I was just like, okay, that's fine. I guess like stings, because, you know, I already have a hard enough time as it is, like opening up and saying certain things to people and wanting to be personal. And so when people don't seem interested, like that's kind of like a oof. Next one is they aren't happy with themselves. So, oh my God, I cannot express this enough. So whether it be a relationship, friendships especially, I will tell you guys from the start, I have had so many friendships end because of the people or the person that I'm friends with not being happy with themselves, not being content with themselves. So, for me, it really affects me when someone isn't content with themselves. Like, I'm not saying that you have to be, oh my God, happy with yourself, like you're perfect, you know, but I feel like you should respect yourself enough and love yourself enough. And I feel like if you're friends with someone who's like insecure about themselves, who aren't happy with themselves, it's just a recipe for disaster, because what are they really bringing to the table? Really, really honest with each other here. What are they bringing to the table? They're bringing, you know, unhappiness, they're bringing sadness, they're bringing insecurities, you know. I understand everybody has their struggles, but how is that fair to you? How is that fair to you that, you know, you're trying to be the best version of yourself and you're trying to improve on yourself, and someone is doing toxic behaviors around you, being demeaning towards themselves, like not really giving themselves the time. It's a toxic environment, and I feel really awful for saying this, but like I would even distance myself from the person, because how are you supposed to be around someone who's not happy with themselves? I'm a firm believer of energy, and I'm a firm believer of people's energies bleeding into each other. And I think that, if you're happy with yourself, if you're content and you're with someone who's really down on themselves and really uneasy about themselves and unhappy, you're gonna feel that. Maybe it's just me because I've experienced it firsthand where, I've definitely had friends that were very unhappy with themselves, insecure about their bodies, not happy with themselves in general. And it would almost affect me because it's like, I feel almost bad that I'm happy. I feel almost bad that I'm content with myself, that I'm okay with my body. And it's taken me personally a really long time to love myself to the point that I am at right now. And I don't want anyone or anything to deter me from that. I don't want anyone to ruin my energy. I think I've gotten to the point in my life where it's like I want someone to match my energy, if not add to it. I don't want someone to bring in there and, as selfish as that sounds, you need to be selfish, guys. Like, let's be real with each other. We have a life to live and we can't allow other people to control us. We don't need it. We don't need the unhappiness. We need nothing but fun times in this lifetime. So, point blank, if they're not happy with themselves, it's just automatically a red flag, because what happens is when someone's not happy with themselves, they take out their insecurities on you. They start to paint a false narrative about you. They start to kind of drain you, and like a whole list of things, even in a relationship sense, I've been with guys who have been unhappy with themselves, and they would definitely take advantage of me. They would take out their insecurities on me because they were so frustrated about themselves and how they don't feel like they could match up to my energy. And so they would be kind of resentful or envious in a very strange manner. So just avoid it. Just avoid it. Don't classify yourself with people that just aren't content with themselves. Next one is give it 6 months to a year. So I have developed this rule for myself personally within the last year, that you don't really know someone until the 6 months to a year mark. So a lot of things can happen, and I feel like every person that you meet, you always go through a honeymoon phase with them, whether it be a friend, potential lover, romantic partner, everything else in between. People have a honeymoon phase, and it lasts, I think, between 2 to 3 months. And after the 3-month mark is when you really truly get to see the real sides of someone and whether or not you're compatible with them or not. And I think that for your sake, if you want to not get hurt and you want to not be in pain, because I've felt it many times, I think that you need to give it time. You need to observe someone's behaviors and actions. And I'm gonna keep saying it throughout this video. You guys need to learn how to be more so observers than reactors. You can't look at something right away and be like, oh, this is gonna be the best thing in my life. No, because people change. And you don't really get to know someone until shit hits the fan, until things go wrong. That's when you start to really see the type of person that they are and how they respond, and in the ways that they treat you when they're under high pressure. So give it 6 months to a year, whether it be friendship, lover, relationship, whatever. Give it that time, because I promise you, you will start to see the type of person that they are. Next one, they don't have their own interests. I'm really big on this. Hence the reason why I'm also still single, because I think that I'm personally still in the process of, finding things that make me happy. Every day I'm finding newer things that I'm, interested in and stuff like that. But for me, if someone isn't unique in a sense, like if they don't have their own interests, if they don't have their own hobbies, if they don't have their own things that make them happy as people, then it's just gonna be a recipe for disaster. And the reason why I say that is because they'll end up depending on you. Keyword, depending. People who don't have their own interests and their own hobbies and their own things tend to cling on to other people that do. And so, for example, if I have my own things going on and somebody else doesn't, they're gonna be bored and they're not gonna have much to look forward to. So they're gonna heavily depend on you. And the dependency is a problem. You're gonna want your own space. If you're anything like me, I'm the type of person where I love nurturing my friendships. I love nurturing things that matter to me. I love my family. I love the closeness, but I'm also a independent person, so I love to spend a lot of free time alone. I love to watch my own shows. I love to make videos. I love to make music. I like to have that time to express myself and to be Karina. And if I don't have that, then I start to become very sad and upset because I feel like I'm giving myself everywhere but to myself. I don't need someone who is going to keep taking from you. I know it's difficult for people, but you gotta, like I said, you gotta set these boundaries for yourself. Like, you need to observe these things when you meet people, or like at least ask about them in conversation. Friendships that have lasted for me, it always consisted of them being able to be independent and doing things on their own. So when I get together with the friends that mean a lot to me, we have things to talk about. Like, I talk about what I've been doing, they talk about what they've been doing, we collaborate, we laugh about it, and then we go on our merry ways until next time. And that's how it's supposed to be. You don't need to have everything be with someone else. It's not healthy, it's not gonna last, it's gonna just be a disaster. And keep that in mind. Just letting y'all know, keep that in mind, because it will make or break a lot of relationships. Next one, they question things about you. I absolutely hate this one. So if someone is meant to be in your life, and if someone truly values you, they will not question every little thing that you do. Let's say I decided to paint my room purple, or like, let's say that I decided to just suddenly wear darker clothes, or I wanted to paint my hair magenta. I understand like being curious, but when it gets to the point of why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? Like, what was the reason? You shouldn't have to feel interrogated. And if any type of person starts to over question you, just give them a response like, I'm sorry, I didn't know that I had to answer to why I want to do things with my life. You know, like, I feel like everyone should be able to do what they want. And of course, some people may be curious and ask, but if it's like a consistent thing, like, why are you doing this? Where are you? Like, come on, man. Like, we're all human. We all have our own things. And I feel like you shouldn't pester someone to the point where it's like, I didn't know I had to question, or I didn't know I had to like give an answer to every decision I want to make. So it literally pisses me off when people, I'm like fine with them asking about it just because they're like curious, but I feel like if someone's consistently asking me things like, why did you do this? Where are you? Like, it drives me insane. Absolutely insane. I can't deal with it. I'm just like, I literally can't. Next one. Ask them to watch or try something you like, see if they do it. Oh my gosh. So, life hack, Karina, personal life hack here. So I've developed this, especially when it comes to like testing the waters with these boys / men out here, or whoever that you're interested in. Let's say you're interested in females, I don't know, whoever's watching this. So I personally developed this, and it's worked out pretty well. I usually tell someone in conversation, if I'm interested in them, I'm like, hey, like, I really like this show. Like, we'll just start getting into talking about TV shows or something. I get it to that point where we're talking about things we like to watch. And I'm like, oh, like, I really love this show. It's called da 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 da. Like, you should watch it. Let me know what you think of it. And usually the other person's like, yeah, of course, I'll give it a watch when I can. So, what I do is I like to observe. I like to see. I want to see if someone actually watches what I tell them to do, because this is a key point in figuring out if someone's genuinely like about you, or they're just shitting like responses at you. Because every guy that I've ever been like, oh, like, did you? And then of course, like, a few weeks would go by, and then I would ask it in the conversation that we would be having. I'd be like, hey, did you ever get a chance to watch that? And if they make up some stupid excuse like, oh, I've been so busy, and then you ask again and they've been like, oh, I've been so busy, sis, he ain't it. He's just trying to like get in your pants, or he's just bored. So if they cared about you, they would take the time to get to know you and your crafts and what you like to do, and also like show interest. And that can also be said in friendships too. Like, I feel like if a person really wants to be friends with you or gets to like know you on a deeper level, They're going to take that time to like watch the things that you love, watch the things that you grew up with, like give the things that you told them a shot, you know, and that initiative is really important, I think. Another thing is gossip a lot. So like I said, mentioning to the beginning of this video, the way that people respond to things is really crucial to determining how they're going to treat you. So for me, I really don't like people who gossip a lot, and I have a certain threshold of gossip. Of course, I'm not gonna, like I said, act like I'm innocent, because I've definitely had my own fair share of gossiping in my lifetime. But I think that when it gets to the point where it's almost toxic gossiping, where it's like someone just doesn't do anything but gossip, I think it's really disgusting. I'm also getting to a point in my life where I think that gossiping in general is just immature and unnecessary. I used to be really immature, where I used to like gossip all the time. I think everyone went through a phase like that. I would gossip about everything, and of course it would bite me in the butt. But I think that I'm getting to that age where it's like, what is the point? Like, what is the point of gossiping? Like, what is the point of like talking badly about people? Like, in the end of the day, no one is going to really cross paths with each other. We're all like dealing with our own struggles. We're all dealing with our own problems. And I think that spending the time that you have gossiping and talking badly about someone is just such a waste of time. Instead of doing that, you could be taking care of yourself. You could be doing things that make you happy. You could be nurturing relationships, giving things in lifetime that, you know, you don't know if you have the next day. So I feel like gossiping is just so stupid. I genuinely try to avoid people that over gossip a lot, because let's be real with each other. It's inevitable. Like, you're gonna encounter people that are gonna gossip, but just be aware to the level of gossip that you encounter and whether or not you want to feed into it or just observe it. So keep that in mind. People leave you on red. So this one's like, because people are busy. So I don't want to sit here and be like, oh, that they left you on red, that's a red flag, because to be honest, I know I hate it when people call me out for not answering them. I'm genuinely a busy person, and if I feel like I have the time to talk to you and I make that effort to try to like get back to you, that means something. I want you guys to like be resentful and mean to people that don't get back to you, but I feel like if someone's consistently leaving you on red, consistently not answering you, like what I mean by consistently is like a lot, not a little bit, a lot. Just having a value for yourself to not like deal with that. I feel like you can find so many people that want to talk to you, so you don't have to really deal with someone that's leaving you on red or delivered. And also, don't tolerate people who answer you on their own terms, you know? Like, you have your own life, and don't allow people to take advantage of that. Don't allow people to reach out to you when it's convenient for them, you know? Like, you gotta have those boundaries set for yourself, because if not, people will take advantage of it. So, last thing that I have to say is watch how they treat others. This is kind of like my last bulletin point, because I feel like this video is getting really long. It's almost 30 minutes. I'm probably gonna have to cut it. Straight up, if anyone wonders like what's the first thing I look for if I was to be interested in a guy, is how they treat others. If I notice a guy is being aggressive, if I notice a guy is being an asshole, if I notice a guy is definitely talking to more than one girl at a time, it doesn't make me attracted to them. I'm sorry. And what I said earlier to this video that I want to touch base before I forget is fantasy and reality. So I am still learning the master of detachment, and I think that I will make a video of that when I finally figure it out, because I'm still in the process of trying to figure out how to detach from people. But when it comes to fantasy and reality, I have this really awful habit where I get so caught up in my own head and I get excited about things immediately, and I create almost a false narrative of what it is. So let's say I get along with a guy really well, right, in the beginning, and I think, wow, like this is a really amazing connection. I haven't felt this in a really long time. Maybe there's something there. I'll take that, unfortunately, and I will run with it, and I will make an entire scenario in my head thinking that this guy and me are gonna be like you know, something great. We're gonna have all of these amazing memories together. Like, there's such potential there. And I start to create such a vivid imagination about everything. All of a sudden, things change. You know, you encounter him again. The energy is not the same that it was before. You know, he's a lot different than what you expected or you thought. And you're crushed because the guy that was once so interested in you suddenly seems to be giving you less than any time. So you don't need that. And I feel like if anyone wants to genuinely be with you, they will make it known. If someone wants to genuinely give you a chance or be interested in you, that like they will. People are very straightforward, or at least guys are. I don't know about the other sex. I mean, I think girls are the same. I could be wrong. I know I'm a girl, but you know, girls are really difficult, and I know I'm difficult. So they're a fantasy and reality, you know, like try not to confuse the two. It's really hard because I tend to make a lot of excuses for people. I tend to make a lot of excuses as to why people treat me the way that they do. I've tended to like point fingers at myself and say that I was the problem and I'm the reason. And although many times that might be the case, I feel like at the end of the day, like I have to realize what things are and what they are, and, you know, set boundaries within myself, understand what I will and I will not tolerate, and move on. Life is so short, and I think that once you start to understand that, you are gonna start to feel so much more happier in your life. I'm almost 24, and I feel like I've dealt with so much pain. Oh god. I'm almost 24, and I feel like I have dealt with so much pain. Why do I keep laughing when I say that? Jesus. The laughter is hiding the tears. Anyways, life is so short, and I think that once you start to realize that things aren't as bad, so what he didn't answer you? So what they didn't give you the time of the day? What, are you gonna die? Get yourself a coffee. Take yourself to that place that you've been thinking about. Oh, that concert that you've been wanting to go to for so ever long and you've never been able to go. Just go to it. I think that I'm getting to that point in life where it's just like, what is the point? What is the point of waiting for people that don't want you? Someone to give you validation, but no one's gonna give you that validation unless you give yourself validation. And that's when things start to get better. I think that once you start to feel happier with yourself, and once you start to realize the things that make you you, other people will notice that, and you will attract what you give out. And that's so important. You know, people ask me all the time, like, how are you this confident person? How are you? I don't feel like I am, you know, I'm a constant work in progress. I'm constantly trying to like battle with my thoughts and emotions. I have really awful days. Sometimes I don't even want to wake up, but I'll never say that. And I think it's just the way that you respond and the way that you handle things, it makes such a big difference. I don't want to go backwards and meet people that are not fulfilled with themselves. Like, you got to protect that energy. And yes, you may seem like an asshole in the process of doing that, because you will be cutting people off and you will be distancing yourself, and you may be really tight with someone one minute and the next you're like, okay, bye, you know? And people get mad at that, and it's valid. You know, I understand why people get mad, but at the same time, you got to do what's making you you got to do what's going to make you fulfilled, you happy. And that's what's important in life. I just really wanted to make this video to kind of like give you guys some advice that I've learned so far. And of course, I'm still learning, so I might make an update video later in the future. Don't know. We'll see. But you know, I love you guys, and life is really hard. Nothing is easy, but I think that as long as you start to have more respect and value for yourself, that's when you start to be able to maneuver around things like that with people. So thank you for watching this video, and I really hope it helps. Leave me a comment, or, you know, leave me some feedback if you guys have any other additional questions. I can help answer those. And if you have some like advice or something you want to ask me, I will definitely be able to help you. If you want, follow my Instagram. If you want to DM me on there instead of leaving a comment below, feel free. Yeah. I'm gonna go because it's almost It's almost 36 minutes. Oh my god. But I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye.
Yeah.